Yes, indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, our evening of stand-up comedy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I might as well come clean with you. I'm going to be honest. I'm only halfway here tonight. My mind is only halfway concentrated on the gig. It's not you lot. It's been this way right from the start of the tour. It's the 27th gig, and I'm not really there. I'm not concentrating. I'm worried. I've got things on my mind. I can't concentrate. I'm kind of distracted. I am so worried about Charles and Di's marriage. Oh, I wake up in the middle of the night sweating over that one. The press are asking the question, is Charles and Di's marriage knackered? Now, I bear them no ill will, but I'm sorry to say, of course it's knackered. It never stood a chance. They are totally mismatched. She is a Sloan Ranger and he is a hippie. They never stood a chance. She wants to go to Stringfellows, he wants to go to a TP in Wales. There is no chance. She should have married Andrew Ridgeley, he should have married the Bishop of Durham. It's clear to me. They could not be worse put together if they had met on Blind Date. Actually, now that is a surreal concept for a programme. That's a weird one, Blind Date. I mean, we know what it's about, don't we? Old Scylla behind the wall with the girl, there's old Dory. She says, now, Dory, which of these three grinning Wally bozos would you least object to shagging? Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? We're all watching, I wonder if they fucked. So, imagine Charles and Di are on It's a Royal Blind Date. There's Di behind the wall with Scylla. She asks her a question, God knows what, I don't know. What sort of holiday would you like? What sort of holiday would you like? So the first grinning Wally bozo says, Ibiza, Scylla, know what I mean? For the birds, eh? For the birds, eh? Ha ha, for the birds. And we're all having a laugh, because he's a boy, isn't he? He's a lad, he said, birds, twinkle in his eye. Good old British boy, fucking magical, eh? Hoffmeister, follow the bear, there he is. Good old British boy. He said, birds, what a lad, he likes a bit of that. Fucking good on him, eh? There we go. Scylla's behind the wall going, he said, birds, he's a boy, isn't he, eh? Look, he said, birds, you hear that? Oh, he's a one, isn't he, eh? He's a boy, he's a lad, he's a one, he's a wanker, Scylla. We can all see that, finally. They asked old Charlie, what sort of holiday do you want? He says, well, quite honestly, I quite fancy a couple of weeks digging peat in the Outer Hebrides. They never stood a chance, but my real problem for them is that I do sympathise, because no marriage on earth could stand the kind of pressure that the scum-low British press, which is the most disgraceful institution in this country, possibly in the world, have put those people under. I mean, our press is a genuine national disgrace. Just the treatment of the royals. Let's take an innocuous subject that nobody really gives a bollock about, like Fergie, something like that. So, there you are. Fergie joins the clan, right? So, what do the press want to know? Do they want to know, will she be an honourable and a dignified addition to our overseas kind of image abroad? Will she uphold the traditional British values that we care for and we believe in so much? And I think there are many that are worth believing. No, that is not what the press want to know. They are worried about, has she got a fat arsehole or not? That's the question foremost in their minds. They want to know if she's got a fat ass, has Fergie got a big, raddled, floppy old cat flap, and will they be able to crowbar it through the doors of the Abbey on the day? I mean, things have changed, haven't they? I don't think Queen Victoria had to suffer speculation on the size of her arsehole, did she? No. But old Fergie, of course she does. I mean, imagine what it'd be like if the scum British press had been around in the days when the royals really made news, when they were shagging each other and giving each other syphilis and chopping each other's heads off and things. I mean, they made enough of the Fergie Di tiff. What would they have made of the real McCoy with old Queen Elizabeth I and Queen Mary? Ooh, you Scottish bitch, giggled haughty, half-bald Virgin Liz. You get drawn in, I'm looking at other people's shoulders, reading articles, thinking, oh, she's lost a bit of weight, we may be all right, I don't know. They may be able to get her into the dress yet, I've no idea. By the time we get to the big day, I'm fucking obsessed. There we were, shouting up at the balcony, up at our new princess, the Duchess. Give him a kiss, go on, give him a kiss. Well, where's it all going to end, eh? Give us a shag. I mean, when Harry gets married 20 years from now, that's what a lovable, loyal, patriotic British public are going to be demanding, the way things are going, eh? Go on, fuck him! Sit on his face, your highness! Now, it's at this point of the evening that I begin to notice certain subtle divisions within the audience. There are those, and thank heaven there are many, it seems, who are digging the show, and there are others who are a little surprised because they came along because they quite like Black Adder. Well, frankly, yes, I was surprised and disappointed. I didn't think it was necessary. It's not clever or smart to shock. I know he was trying to shock me. I wasn't shocked. There was no way I was shocked. It was quite clear he wanted to shock me. That's why he went on stage. He really wanted to shock me. He didn't spend 6 months working on the material to be funny. He wanted to shock me, but I wasn't shocked. It's not funny. It's not smart to say fuck. Why does he have to say fuck? He's quite a clever young man. He's been educated. Why does he have to say fuck? It's not necessary. I can say fuck. I'll say fuck. Fucking fuck, fuck, fuck. Fucking fuck, 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 fuck. I'll say it. It's not clever, and after a while it loses its meaning. He should understand language better than that. It means nothing to say fuck. In which case you won't mind if I tell you to fuck off, will you? But I do understand, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not the royals I have an objection to. I quite dig Charlie. I mean, you know, he's a bit of an old hippie, but as I said, he's a Greenpeace hippie. He stood up for the North Sea. I'm a Greenpeace hippie as well, you know? So, ladies and gentlemen, who are the real villains? The real villains, of course, are men like that gentleman who took over as editor of The Star, your family-loving newspaper, The Star, that utter, total, degraded shitbag who should be put in prison for his crimes against women, who was called the editor of The Star for 2 months. How do you edit a picture of two knockers? Cut one off? Fucking hell, great idea. Oh, we'll have her in profile. Brilliant decision, mate. Well worth the salary. His idea of the front page of your family Star, the second day he took over it, this is in a civilised country, was to have an entire front page of a naked 15-year-old girl with her hands across her tits, this is the truth, and the headline was, she's only 15, they're already 43 inches, and when she's 16, in 30 days' time, she'll show you her nipples. Now, we live in an atmosphere of violence against women and children, which is a fucking epidemic, and that bastard got away with doing that. It is beyond belief. So, there he was, the old bastard lost his job. Why did he lose his job? Why did he stop being editor of The Star? I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, why he lost his job. Because Tesco's withdrew their advertising account. Well, God moves in mysterious ways. Ladies and gentlemen, Norman Tebbit, Normo Tibbs, bit of a leak there, you think, fucking hell, the stream's broken, Ben, that wasn't very good, was it? But it is connected, I swear to you, I will be back on the papers in a second. Normo Tibbs, in his last job as chairperson of the Party of Family Values, went on the telly, went on Weekend World to defend the Sun. His idea was this. First, he established his credentials. He said, I am just an ordinary bloke. I am not a Ponzi intellectual, I am just an ordinary bloke. Normo Tebbs, the ordinary bloke. Well, maybe in Transylvania he's an ordinary bloke. His argument, why there is nothing to be questioned about the lads having an ogle at the 16-year-old big tits on the page 3, was this. He said that there was no difference between the old ogling with the old page 3 knockers and the Ponzi intellectuals down the art galleries having a look at the nudie paintings of all the nudie old masters, you know, the oil paintings. Now, either Normo Tebbs is blind, or he's a liar, which is just a possibility. I mean, I'll throw it out, no more than that. Make of it what you will, or he is a total pervert. I mean, have you ever been down the art gallery? Some cracked old oil painting of a 55-stone 17th century arsehole. It's not going to give you a stiffy, is it? Now, come on. Your average Picasso's got 6 tits. Just get down the old National Gallery tomorrow, have a look, see if all the old art professors are disappearing to the toilet with the catalogue under their arm for a bit of a wank. Just have a look. There is this book called Dante's Inferno, by a bloke called Dante, and it's called Inferno, hence Dante's Inferno. And it is a classic of Italian literature. Many people, in fact, consider it to be the classic of Italian literature. Dante's mother, in particular, I think, felt very strongly about that. But Dante's Inferno is in fact a very superb and extraordinary book because in it we are taken on a journey through hell. The entire book is quite simply a journey through to the pit of hell because Dante believes hell is in levels. There is no way you could degrade certain evils with other evils because they go further down and there are some things more evil than others. So Dante takes us on a journey through hell, through the first to the seventh level, through the wailing and the gnashing of teeth, through the suffering, the endless torture, the purgatory and the shame of hell, the thousands of individuals locked forever for their crimes, through the pain, through the fire, through the degradation and the torture until we are arriving at the bottom of the pit of hell. At the end of the book, Dante arrives at the seventh level and shares with us there his vision of the ultimate evil that lies at the bottom of the pit of hell. And he says that it is Judas Iscariot lying alone in the seventh level, encased not in fire, but in ice. His eyes open, awake for all eternity, conscious of the enormity of his crime. And that is what Dante says lies at the bottom of the pit of hell. But I say that underneath Judas is the editor of The Sun. Looking up his arsehole to see if he's queer or not. Because that's how our lovely family, good old British Christian Sun would have dealt the story of our Lord. I can tell you, they'd be taxing their brains, they'd be thinking, how are we going to stitch up this communist hippie prophet who wants to share the money up? What should we do? I know, he hangs around with 12 blokes, let's stitch him up as a queer, eh? That's what they do, mate. Sounds dodgy to deal with the subject, but that is what would happen. There are so many useless things. First you have the gutter press, then you have normotebs. The most useless thing in my life at the moment is my fridge. I pay 24 hours worth of electricity every day so that when I open my fridge door, it will light up my face. That is what my fridge is for. There is never any food in my fridge. I think that the fridge is eating my food. It eats my food and then wets itself. My fridge hates me. It says, great. I've eaten his food, think I'll piss on his floor. There is never any food in my house and I never have an opportunity to get food because the shops are not open at the time when you most need food. Never mind a Sunday trading meal. When do we most need food? After 7 pints of lager down the pub. That is when you're fucking desperate to eat something. And there is never any food in the house. There is never any food. The fridge is empty. Fuck it, there's got to be some food. I've had 7 pints. I've got to fucking eat something. It's always the same. Cornflakes. With water. Because it's slightly preferable to squeezing a tube of neat tomato puree down your neck. Never any food. You will eat anything when you are drunk. Anything. I mean, why do you think Kentucky Fried Chicken stay open all night? I mean, come on. Let's be honest. When you are pissed, your gastronomic expectations are utterly and totally altered. Suddenly, that casserole dish you forgot to put in the soak 6 months ago and it's got all mouldy looks a total delight. Grab a knife and start scraping the crispy bits off. Crispy bits, crispy bits, crispy, oh, look at that crispy, oh, this is the nicest thing I've ever fucking eaten. Oh, God, maybe this would be nice with a tube of tomato puree. You will eat anything when you are pissed. We got any young parents in the audience with little kids to deal with and they won't eat their food? Get them pissed. Some little 5-year-old, couple of vodkas. Fucking hell, those Brussels sprouts look nice. I mean, obviously you've got to put up with him lying face down in a bathroom floor in a puddle of vomit singing Maybe It's Because I'm a Londoner. But he's eating his greens and that's what matters. My fridge has certain things in it, but they've been there so long I kind of class them as not really being there anymore. They're kind of sitting tenants, you know? Kind of in levels of degradation, my fridge. It's a bit like Dante's Inferno, really. You've got Dante's Inferno and Ben's fridge. And in the top of my fridge lives the ice monster, whose sole purpose in life is to grow bigger and attach cans of my lager to his body. So when I try and get one out of the fridge, I break my wrist. Give me my lager, Ice Monster. No, fuck off, I'm keeping it. Why can the Ice Monster treat me this way? Because it knows a terrible secret. I have left him too long. I have left him too long. I should have defrosted the fridge 4 years ago, and he knows it. I'm too big, you can't melt me. I'll flood the fucking kitchen. Underneath the Ice Monster lives the teacup. The teacup full of brown chickeny stuff. Brown chickeny sludgy stuff with ½ an inch of lard on top. It's like a new line at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why is this teacup there full of chickeny stuff and lard? I will tell you why. Because 3.5 years ago, which was the last time I cooked a meal in my house, I made chicken. And in a moment of insane and irrational optimism, with no hope of success whatsoever, I thought, oh, I'll collect those chicken bits in a teacup. They'll make soup tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, lower still, in the bottom of the pit of the degraded reality that is my fridge lives the drawer into which you must never look. Never look in that drawer, you will never sleep again. All the evils of the world are contained in that drawer. It is called the vegetable crisper, but it is not true. It is Pandora's box, never open it. Opening it's like Friday the 13th, part 12. Oh, wow, what an interesting looking drawer. Ah! Why is this drawer so horrifying? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason for this is because in another moment of insane and irrational culinary optimism with no hope of success whatsoever, one day, whilst passing a greengrocer, you thought, oh, fuck me, I'm going to buy some proper vegetables today. I'm going to be healthy. You even jogged the last 50 feet home. And in a virtuous moment, put the brown paper bags with the veg in the vegetable crisper. Piss off to the pub, 7 pints of lager, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Years later, you open the drawer. It's kind of steaming now and bubbling. Life cycles and little mini pterodactyls flying about inside. The brown paper bags are still there. You think all I have to do is lift up the brown paper bag, walk across to the dustbin without looking at it, I'll throw up and throw it away. Fair enough. So, you pick up the brown paper bag, but unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, only the top section of the brown paper bag comes away in your hand. The rest is attached to the bottom of the fridge into which you must never look by a carrot swamp. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have only concentrated on the fridge to this extent because you must be warned. You must be warned against the evils of the fridge. You need to know that fridges break up homes, especially in a communal house. A communal house is one where people live together pretending to be friends, but really it's just because they can't afford the fucking rent. Well, I wouldn't clap if I were you. Who's sitting next to you? Why are you fucking clapping at that? Everybody who uses a fridge in a communal house is a fridge bastard. Now, the first and the worst fridge bastard in a communal house is this gentleman. Mr. Hey, look, it's only a sausage. It's my fucking sausage! And you ate it. Look, it's only a sausage. Stop saying that! Next door to Mr. Hey, look, it's only a sausage lives Ms. Look, why don't we just cut all this crap and have a kitty and buy a communal sausage? Because if we did that, Mr. Hey, look, it's only a sausage would eat it and say, hey, look, it's only a sausage. I said the worst was Mr. Haylook, but no, there is worse still in a communal house, a fridge user, and that is the house couple. The house couple, the first two to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. When I was a student, I didn't get a girlfriend for 2 years, but these two were 19 and suddenly they're like a married couple. They were going out for 2 weeks and it's a mature relationship, you know. They're acting like they're 55 years old, walking around like a married couple, doing things together, and going fucking shopping together, and going off and buying really together things like fruit and vegetables. And they walk past me and I'm eating a vest of fucking chow mein, and they say, Ben, that cost £1, and we've just had an entire spaghetti bolognese for 37.5p each. You're a fool to yourself. Shut your face! And they get all this great stuff. all this great food really together stuff, and they flounce through the kitchen into the bit of their fridge, and they got all this together stuff, and they're putting it loading up their bit of the fridge, and all I've got on my shelf is a fucking tube of prime Mueller cheese spread that's totally empty, and every night I hit it with a fucking hammer trying to get some more out of it. But their shelf is stuffed and heaving with together things like mince and mushrooms and yogurts and fruit juice, and it's surrounded by barbed wire and Doberman pinchers. And every day they go in and they undo the combination lock and get their food out, and they make really together meals. They say, is the kitchen free yet? We'd like to make a proper meal, actually. And they make really good meals, and I'm sitting there watching, and they make a spaghetti bolognese, and I haven't seen a real meal for 6 years since I left me mum, and they're making a really together meal, and it's bag bol, and God, it's good. And I'm smelling it, and I just want it, and I want it so much. And at the end, there's a little bit left over, just a little bit in a pot, and I'm going, yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. But no. They scrape it into a Tupperware dish and put it in their bit of the fridge. Behind the machine gun nest. And then, they go upstairs and fuck each other. They're eating properly and getting laid. Bastards! Useless things, ladies and gentlemen. Let us make that the subject for this evening. Let us concentrate now so we can be warned forever. The British press, Normo Tebs, my fridge. Them, now this is a thought. Them, there's no real word to sum them up. Those carpets that people have on top of their toilets. Well, I must say, that looks cosy. I was going to have a piss, but I think I'll curl up with a good book. I mean, why start with a carpet? I mean, why stop there? I mean, why not have an occasional table on top of that? A vase of flowers, a couple of chairs, a biscuit tin. We're having tea on top of the toilet today, if that's all right. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, seriously now, since it's late, and also the audience, my audiences have definitely grown up. When I last played London in a big theatre, it was with Rick, the Dominion in '85, and they were great gigs, but there was a little kind of thing there because a lot of Young Ones fans would come, like 12-year-old Young Ones fans, you know, like a sea of them, and we come on, we do our set, and like, you know, the usual stuff, the knob, 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 fart, 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 wank, 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 vote Labour, good night, and we piss off, you know. I mean, obviously, it wasn't always as sophisticated as that, but, you know. And all these little kids would be going, what's going on? Where's Neil? What about a hole in my shoe? You know. Anyway, things have changed, so I can risk it. Let's have a little bit of liberation sexuality, eh? Wouldn't it be nice? Now, come on. Wouldn't it be really nice? I mean, actually nice. Joking aside, wouldn't it be great? If you could give yourself a blowjob. The world would change overnight. Nothing would matter ever again. Bus is late. I don't care. Because only the individual understands their own body. Only the individual knows exactly what they want. You could be in a good relationship. It doesn't matter, one-to-one, mature relationship. I hope you are monogamous and all that. But only the individual knows exactly what they want. So every time it's, oh, really? Oh, that's good, that's good, that's great. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, no, too much, too much. Too much, you're biting now, you're biting. Stop it, stop it. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, 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 too much. No, stop it, a little bit less. That was perfect. That was exactly, oh, you've lost it. Get off. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Women thinking, he's been down there 20 minutes and he still hasn't found it. Men thinking, found what? Hang on a minute. Am I expected to do more than go brrr? I thought it was just a question of burying your head for 25 seconds and going brrr. Not a pleasant process, but you are into the old girl. 25 seconds of that's your lot, darling, my turn. Fair exchange, no robbery. Bad language. Language that means nothing. Sex is abused and brutalized because people are scared of it. They want to have less sex education in the schools. They are fools. How can they have less than what we had? We had fuck all. I learned what I know from behind. The bike shed stupid words that mean nothing. Brutalized words with no meaning whatsoever. Blowjob. What does it mean? Blowjob. 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 I may not know much about sex, but I do know one thing. You're not supposed to blow. Blow harder. I am blowing harder. Well, I'm not feeling anything. Well, I am. My fucking ears are bleeding. Watching your partner inflate before your very eyes. You come up for air, they blow across the room like a balloon. We need new words. Words that sum up the experience. Words that give kids an idea what they're taking on. If they've got to be more careful, they might as well know what they're doing. Words that mean something. Suffocate job. Just about sum it up, wouldn't it? Desperately try to be sensitive even though your neck's half broken job. Because be honest, creative sex is not easy. If God had wanted us to have oral sex, he wouldn't have given us elbows. Ben, I know you're trying to be deeply creative to my every womanly sensitive need, but could you get your elbow out of my asshole? People don't understand, they don't talk to each other, so much is left unsaid. Maybe some of the women, some of the heterosexual women in the audience can recall that first night, when they would be allowed themselves to be persuaded by their boyfriends to do it for them. Oh, what a magical star-spangled night of romance that was. The glorious music of love and the musky scent of cherubim and seraphim filled the air as you allowed yourself to be persuaded to do it for him. Are you nearly there yet? Well, my arm's aching. I can't do it any faster because when I do it faster, you say I'm tugging. And if I tug, you tell me to slow down and I don't know what you want. Do you promise you're thinking about me? Well, why'd you keep saying Madonna then? Ladies and gentlemen, that is about lack of communication. So much sexism is about lack of communication. People don't talk, people don't express their feelings. You should talk after sex, yes indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you should talk after sex. You don't just roll over and start farting. I don't know, I may be wrong, but I think I may have touched a nerve there. Possibly broken up a fledgling relationship over it. You do that. You do that. You should listen to him. Some of his stuff's quite good. You do that. Fart, 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 that's you. You don't hear because you're asleep, but I'm the one that has to listen. Women fart too, never forget that. Let us have good politics, but keep it real. We must be in a battle against sexism together, and one of the things that we can do is talk after sex. You should talk politics. Sometimes talk politics after sex. It doesn't matter, talk current affairs. I always talk current affairs after making love. Well, last time I can remember anyway. I think we were chatting about the Falklands War, as I recall. But even that little bit of civilised behaviour is ruined by oral sex. Even that tiny, tiny little good thing of civilisation is spoilt by oral sex because it is extremely difficult to have an in-depth Marxist dialectic on the nature of international materialism when you've got a pubic hair stuck in her throat. You can't shift it. It won't move and come out your bollocks easy enough. Why can't you get them out the back of your neck? I mean, you don't want to say anything to your long-term girlfriend. Why don't we talk anymore, Ben? Because you got loose pubes. Aren't they funny old things, though, pubes? No, they really are. They're worth a little glance. I mean, they're not happy where they are they? They like to get about a bit. I'm not surprised stuck in a sweaty old pair of pants. They think, fuck this for a laugh, I'm off. You know, sometimes when I kind of flash, I kind of realise what a stupid job it is I do. I've just done an imitation of a pubic hair. In front of 3,500 people. My mum thinks I work in a bank. They get everywhere, pubic hairs. Everywhere. There is no corner of creation that they haven't colonised. Open a book, wallop, there's a pubic hair. Brand new board game, Christmas Day, Granny, do you want to play this? I'll get the cellophane off. Open the board, 3 pubic hairs, no problem. The bar of soap-seeking pube is a wonder of creation. Brand new bit of soap, bung it on a basin, watch it, wait for the pube to form. Seen the soap, anyone? It's under the pile of pubes. Of course it is. They're all there, the little pubes, digging themselves in ever deeper so you can't get them out without getting half a ton of lifebuoy under your nails. I think they put them in at the factory. What do you do? I work at Palmolive. Oh, make soap. No, I'll put the pubes in. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the evening where for 20 minutes, the women experience, not that they don't experience it the whole time, but they experience an interesting form of sexism. We know of sexism that is around us all the time in the attitudes of men. Here we have sexism in architecture. Very interesting form of sexism is in the very bricks and mortar of our society. I've travelled around many a theatre in this country, and no one has ever answered the same question. No one has ever been able to explain why. Why, when they were designing the theatres of Britain, they simply decided not to put enough toilets in for the women. They just thought, we won't have enough bogs for the girls. Some architect is designing a theatre, almost certainly a bloke. Should I put in enough bogs for the girls? No, fuck it, let them queue. Fuck them. We got a 5-mile trough for the blokes. We're running up and down, having a jog. Getting our exercise all at once. Not enough bogs for the women. Fuck them, let them queue. That's why women used to have them big dresses, you see, so you'd have a bucket slung between your legs. Now, I know most of the managers aren't to blame, but they're mostly men. And what I suggest is that all the women go out into the foyer in the interval, find the manager, follow him round, and next time he looks like he fancies a piss, form a queue in front of him, see how he feels. Sexism in architecture, it does none of us any good. All of it brutalises our society. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the first half. If so, we're going to be back in 20 for plenty more good times. I'll see you then. Okay. Yes, indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, we have no time for too much of this applause, much as I love it, much as I thank you for it, because we must move along, we must move apace, we must move swiftly, because the hour is late, the traffic is clogged, and the bars are still emptying. I have never been able to understand why we cannot get people back into the bars from the gigs. You see, every time people think, well, I paid £5.50, fuck it, I'll spend the evening in the bar. Fair enough. Because when you are drunk, ladies and gentlemen, you are feeling ill, but when you are sober again, you feel worse because you have a hangover. A hangover is a symptom of food poisoning. That is what it is. Your blood is poisoned, you are nauseous, you feel sick, but you get no sympathy. You get no sympathy. I've got no sympathy. You bring it on yourself. You never had to do it. You shouldn't have done it. You never had to do it. You're a silly boy. You bring it on yourself. Well, What about the hang glider who breaks his or her legs jumping off a cliff, eh? Nobody forces them to entrust their lives to a sheet of polythene, do they? But when they're a cagoule full of puree on a fucking rock surface beneath, they get plenty of sympathy. You poor bugger, look at that, eh? Broke your leg, sorry about it. I'd say you never had to do it. You stupid wanker, nobody made ya. You should have been down the pub with me. I've got a headache, you can't fucking walk. I mean, I think a certain amount of what drinkers achieve should be respected. In a way, sports people are respected for overcoming all the difficulties of human life. They push their bodies to the ultimate, they use their minds to the ultimate. I mean, nobody does that better than a drunk. I mean, never mind run 300 metres, climbing the stairs is a fuck of an achievement after 17 pints, I'll tell you. They should have a Drinkers' Olympics. A Drinkers' Olympics to mirror and glorify the achievements of many a Wally every Friday fucking night, including myself. You should have the Drinking Olympics, the drink 18 pints of lager, then try and make a piece of toast and Marmite competition. And they're off, the British are off, the French are off, the Swiss are off. The French are looking good, the French are looking good. They have drunk the lager, they've got the butter, they've got the Marmite, they are totally pissed. They've got the Marmite, they've got the butter, they're making a toast, they are completely pissed. Oh no, one of them's getting all maudlin and he's talking about his girlfriend. It's gonna lose some time, it's gonna lose it. The Swiss are looking good, they have drunk the lager, they are completely pissed. They have drunk the lager, they are totally pissed. They've got the knife, they've got the butter, they've got the Marmite. Oh no, one of them's farted and they're all rolling around on the floor because it's so fucking funny. The English are looking good, they have drunk the lager, they are totally pissed. They have got the lager, they've got the knife, they've got the butter, they've got the Marmite, they've got the toast, they are looking good. Oh no, they've discovered one of the judges is foreign and they're beating shit out of him. In my comedy, I deal with a lot of adverts. That is my job, I deal with adverts. Of course I deal with adverts. Adverts are the wallpaper of life. That is their job. They are the wallpaper of our lives. And over the 6 years that I've been doing adverts, I've noticed subtle changes. Subtle changes in the adverts. In the old days, you used to get a shitty product, a stupid advert, and you knew where you were. It was fine. Knew how to take the piss. You got the Weetabix, pretend they're a bunch of skinheads, say, okay, piss everyone off, you knew where you were. Even the terminal mind fucker, the shaken vac woman, you knew where you were. These days it's all changed. You don't get so many nice, cosy little products with shitty ads. You get really nasty products with really brilliant ads. Have you noticed how in the last 3 years, for some inexplicable reason, they have started advertising multinational companies? What are they advertising for? There is no reason. They've got all the money. They're just sitting there on the telly saying, fuck off, we're really rich. We've got all your money. Fuck off, we're really rich. We've got all your money. What are they trying to tell us? That's all they can possibly try to tell. The Hanson Trust, a company from over here, doing rather well over there. We don't fucking care. I mean, they're not going to give us any of the money, are they? No one in this country, no one in this room, in this town of ours, in this county of London, in anywhere in this country, gives a flying bollock that last year, ICI made enough carpet fibre to ring the world 3 times. Nobody cares. It is an astonishingly boring statistic. I mean, imagine if you were at a dinner party and you were sat next to a total stranger and they opened up with that as a conversational gambit. Hello, you don't know me, but apparently last year ICI made enough carpet fibre to ring the world 3 times. Ah! And what's more, they make a lot of blue dye for 1/4 of the world's jeans. You'd be slitting your wrist with a butter knife, wouldn't you? And I'll tell you another thing. Another insidious little fact of that advert. They don't tell you how wide the strip of carpet is. So it is a meaningless statistic. My old grand's rug would ring the world 3.5 times if you cut it up thin enough, wouldn't it? Who are British Telecom trying to fool? Now come on, ladies and gentlemen. Why are they telling us that we can phone America for 10 quid for 3 minutes when we know we can't phone the end of the fucking street because you're going to get a cross line? The moral dilemma of the 80s is when you get a cross line, which is every fucking time, do you listen in or not? You're having a fucking boring conversation. Everybody's part of the same problem, and Telecom are causing it, and what are they spending our money on? Little adverts. Little expensive adverts. They started with Buzzbeat, Fuzzbeat, or whatever the little git was called. All I know is Bernard Cribbins never worked again. We finally ended up with what we've got now. That irritating Scottish woman. With the strange voice more loathsome than the woman of Cat's Eyes. Every time I phone my daughter in Kent, the line goes all fuzzy. Well, of course it goes all fuzzy. The minute the daughter realises it's the old bat on the line again, she puts the phone in the bread bin. This woman is stood up in Scotland. She's Telecom's idea of a lovable granny. She's got a blue rinse, pearls, lovely clothes, bit of a cardi. We know her sort. She's the sort that'll bring back hanging for shoplifting. The only person in Scotland to vote Conservative, and Telecom have got her. There she is, in her sitting room up in Scotland. Her husband's behind her. He's obviously dead. Well, he's stretched out in a sofa. He hadn't fucking moved all weekend. He never moved. She has bored her husband to death. Now she's trying to wing her daughter in Kent to kill her as well. I ask you, when you report a fault on the line to Telecom, what happens? Does a couple of juggernauts appear in your street with motorcycle outriders and arc lamps and men in hard hats whispering into microphone? No, I don't think so. I've been past Telecom Tower loads of times and I have never seen a load of men nailing satellite dishes to it. Never. What actually happens? I'll tell you what. Nothing. Nothing happens for 3 whole weeks. Then, when you are finally forced by starvation out of your house for 5 minutes to buy a box of cornflakes, you get back, there's a card, we called, you were out, fuck you. They're waiting. They are waiting behind the hedge, hour after hour, day after day, waiting for you to leave. Good, the bastard's gone, let's stitch him up. Ding. And in the end, it goes right all by itself. Well, it better, because Telecom are going to do fuck all about it. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, the whole tenor of adverts has changed. We no longer celebrate togetherness. We no longer celebrate sharing. We celebrate selfish, ruthless pursuit of personal cool and personal aggrandizement. I could not see the Renault family sharing their last Rolo, could you? They might invest it for you. Buying a Renault, one of your better decisions. Marrying an arrogant, sexist dickhead, one of your stupider decisions. But all that has changed, ladies and gentlemen. All that has changed so much because the Renault advert has changed with it, you see. They've grown up, they've got right on sister, they've gone all feminist. It's fucking brilliant. Because the new Renault ad, the woman gets the job. It's the woman of Cat's Eyes who gets the fucking job. Well, right on sister makes you proud. Fantastic. Burn your bra. She gets the job. I mean, it could have been a black lesbian that got the job, but at least they're making an effort. The woman of Cat's Eyes gets the job. And how does she tell her husband? How does she tell him that she's got the job? She rings him up and she says, darling, you know that woman you had breakfast with? You won't be seeing her much anymore. That woman you had breakfast with. Mm. How the fuck do that family communicate at the tea table the way they talk, eh? The kid comes home from school for the holidays, sitting at the tea table. Mum, you know that person you gave birth to? Could you pass him the butter? We're not in a Renault. We've been touring in a Volvo. We're touring in a Volvo because we know it's safe. It's safe for some very specific situations. For instance, it's safe if a dummy drives it out of a first floor window. A strange reason for buying a car, isn't it? You're scared stiff you might drive it up the stairs and out the bedroom window. The woman's driving a Volvo along. She's just driving along, as you do, giving it drive. There she goes. Driving along, and a piano falls on it. Could happen. Dude, you'd be fucking pissed off if you weren't in a Volvo. We warned you, fucking warned you. There you are in your MG, smashed with a fucking piano on your head. Should have been in a Volvo. Strange images, weird images, things that couldn't happen. I live on my own at the moment, and I've lived in bedsits, I've lived in flats. I know many people that have lived in bedsits and lived in flats, but none of us have ever had a certain experience. None of us have ever been sat at home in the evening, there's a knock on the door, outside is a perfect stranger who says, "Hello, I've just moved in, do you have a Diet Pepsi?" It's a fucking specific request, isn't it, eh? That woman who, well, she stood in her kitchen, and she's going, Why? She got pubic hair stuck in her throat, or what? She'd been sat all the way through the hors d'oeuvres thinking, I must stop sucking Tony up before this morning. Dear, oh dear, I never should have given him that last gobble. I'll never swallow his bollocks before a dinner party again. Now I can't make any contributions to the debate until I get this one slooshed out. She's trying to freeze it down with a bit of sorbet. No, but excuse me, I'll just go to the kitchen. She's gonna try to lure it out with a bar of soap. No, she is not. She is not trying to get a pube out. She is imitating a percolator. And why is she imitating a percolator? Because she is scared. She is scared, ladies and gentlemen, that some of her friends, we presume they are her friends, she has invited them to dinner, any of her friends might suspect that she is serving instant coffee. Well, fucking terrifying. I'd shit myself, wouldn't you? She's not remotely worried that one of her friends might put their head round a kitchen door and realise she's gone out of her mind. What'd she do? It doesn't sound a bit like a percolator. I've got a percolator. If it sounded like that, I'd sling it out. Sounds like a farting elephant. I got the coffee out of a flatulent elephant. Is that all right? She brings in the coffee, and this is where it really gets extraordinary. This is where we see the new morality at work. She brings in the coffee, and she gives it round. And there's that kind of smug, plump woman. Doesn't matter that she's plump, but she is. Locate it in your mind. She's smug and she's plump, and she sat there. She grabs the coffee. She goes, lovely coffee. Anyway, as I was saying. Doesn't even look at her. She goes, lovely coffee. Anyway, as I was saying. No, thank you. Fuck all of that. Just look, lovely coffee. Anyway, as I was saying. This woman has been in the kitchen imitating a percolator for 25 minutes, and that old bag can't even say thank you. I'll tell you what the girl's been doing. She hasn't been imitating a percolator. No way. She's been in the kitchen for 25 minutes trying to get enough phlegm in the back of her neck to gob at the old bag. So now you know. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must share with you a moment of anxiety because this tour, which has been so much fun and seems to be going along so well, nearly never happened, nearly never started because of some problems I had on the very first day of the tour. My tour manager was outside the house in the Volvo, watching out for flying pianos, obviously, you know. And I was upset, you know, and I did what you do. You leave the house, you know. I turned off all the lights and I went to the front door and then I thought, oh, fuck. Better, you know, go back and try and turn them all off again, just in case I went blind the first time, you know. So. And that is a symptom of a little demon that lives in all our heads. And that demon's name is Captain Paranoia. Captain Paranoia lives in every little head, in every little person, and every day he jumps onto your shoulder and fucks with your brain, messes around with your psyche. Everyone has a Captain Paranoia, and we never escape. It is the captain who is with us in the middle of the night, in the darkness of the small hours. When you hear a distant creak, the captain jumps onto the pillow and goes, well, bugger me. Didn't that distant creak sound exactly like the stealthy footfall of a mad axeman? So you pull up the blankets tighter, because then you're safe. Reminds me of Protectors of fucking Vibe, that, doesn't it? Oh, bit of politics, love it. So where were we? The captain is with us at all times. The captain is never leaving us. There are times when I've been told, unfortunately, half medical truth. There is nothing worse than a half medical truth. I was told that apparently when your hands ache a bit, it could be the symptom of a heart attack. So every fucking time your hands ache, the captain's going, "You're having a heart attack. You're gonna fucking die. You are fucking about to die. Your hand's aching. Captain, I just slammed it in a door. It doesn't matter. You're going to die." The captain is with us at all times in little things. You're walking along the street. There's a police officer on the other side of the road, and the captain goes, "You look guilty. You look fucking guilty. Don't know what you've done, but you must have done it because you look it, and he knows." You're in a supermarket. You forget to pick up a basket. You've got one item in your hand. The captain's going, "Everyone thinks you're nicking that." So you've got to walk around waving it at arm's length, trying to suggest, "I am not going to steal this item. I will not steal this item." The captain is with us in the most amazingly surreal circumstances. You're in a church, in a pew, at a friend's wedding. The vicar says, "Does anyone know of any reason why these two should not wed?" And the captain's on your shoulder saying, "Bloody hell, wouldn't it be terrible if you said something now? God, it'd be the worst thing you'd ever fucking done. God, you'd regret it for the rest of your life. You'd probably have to kill yourself if you said something now. I'm not going to say anything, Captain. You might go mad. You might go mad and say something right now. God, if you did, you'd have to kill yourself. Shut up. Well, you might." At all times, the captain is with us. After a party, all night at the party, the captain's been on your shoulder going, "You're being boring now. You ought to go. You really ought to go. You're pissed now. You're being boring. Everyone's bored with you now. You've said that before." And in the morning, it's worse. When the hangover is at its worst, the captain wakes you up. He prods you awake through his hangover after the party going, "Come on, wake up. Wake up. Right. Now, what the fuck did you say last night?" So you have to ring everyone up going, "Oh, the captain's been talking to me. Was I embarrassing? Was I pissed? Was I embarrassing? Was I pissed?" The captain is with us at all times. On your birthday, he jumps out the window and strolls up the street with the post person, leaps through the letterbox and falls on the mat along with the rest of your cards, looking up at you, saying, "Go on, count them. Count your fucking cards." Not many, are there? Not as many as last year. That's 'cause no one likes you. The captain is a strange, weird bastard who has been with us for all time. Since the dawn of time, Captain Paranoia has occupied the human psyche, but there has never been a time when the captain has been more pleased and more powerful than the late 1980s. This is holiday time for Captain Paranoia. He doesn't care about the little things anymore. I used to worry about nuclear war, and the captain would rub it in. "Yeah, and apparently your eyeballs get welded to the back of your skull. Yeah, that's true." Now he doesn't bother me. He says, "Nuclear war, fuck it. Paint your windows white." Mrs. Thatcher says, "You're all right, fair enough." Why is the captain leaving me alone? I used to worry about road deaths. He said, "Oh, fuck it, blindfold yourself, walk up the M6, no problem." Why is the captain being so easy on me? I will tell you why. Because the captain has no problems anymore, because he's got the big one to work on. He knows where his bread's buttered, because for the last 18 months, every little captain on every little shoulder all over the country has been whispering in every little ear saying, "Go on, go on. Analyze every last kiss, every little snog, every tiny grope you ever had in your whole life, because maybe, just maybe, showing your dick to Cindy Smithers behind the bike shed in 1966 for £0.50 could have given you AIDS." Every captain, everywhere, swearing blind you can get it off snot. You can't fucking get it off snot. They don't know. They don't know. They can't be sure. They don't fucking know. They do fucking know. They don't know. They might know. Can you get it from breathing the air from homosexuals? Who fucking knows? They don't fucking know. They don't know. So, you get brave. You talk to your captain. You say, "I'm going to sort you out, captain, you asshole." I watched a documentary. It was by Panorama. They don't lie. It was about AIDS. It said you can't get it from social contact. Are you listening to me, captain? And the captain says, "Oh, watched a documentary about AIDS, did you? You stupid bastard! Maybe you can get it from that!" Watch out for the captain. He is trying to isolate us at a time when individuals neither need nor deserve to be isolated. He is a bastard. Kick him aside. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the very, very end of the show, I want to share something with you. I want to share something with you that I know you've been waiting for. Let's have some serious toilet humour. At the end, we want good lavvy gags. Nothing to do with politics. Genuine toilet humour. Why do I love toilet humour so? I'll tell you why, because I'm petrified of the toilet. I'm worse than Captain Power. Captain Toilet's my one. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I can't stand people hearing my noises. I hate it. I will do anything to avoid it. There's a stranger outside. I'm thinking he's listening, the bastard's listening. I'm clenching up my bot for 3/4 of an hour, waiting for him to fuck off. He's trying to warm his hands on a blow hand dryer and it takes 2 years and I'm still sitting there petrified that a total stranger might hear me go plop. So I was in this toilet. And it was empty. An empty toilet. I thought, brilliant, I can have a big noisy plop, no one will fucking know. Brilliant. And well, obviously, it wasn't entirely empty. I mean, obviously, there was the ferryman there who's there to paddle you across the puddle of piss. So I get out the other side, tip the ferryman, wade ashore through the piss ripples of the piss lake, and I'm choosing my cubicle. Oh! Which of this dazzling collage of fucked up primeval swamps shall I entrust my bottom to today? It's such a glorious selection, I hardly know which one to choose. I'd like to eat my dinner here. Oh, lovely. Perhaps this one, on the end. No, perhaps not. Where the friend of humanity has kicked a hole in the seat and hung it on the cistern. No, I think not. Perhaps this one. Recently vacated by the gentleman with the sprinkler attachment on his arsehole. There is shit everywhere! In the bowl, on the floor, on the walls, on the ceiling! He must have been having a shit standing on his head! Not in there. Perhaps the next one. Where the previous bastard hasn't flushed it. I cannot understand the mentality of people who do not flush toilets. Oh, it's too much fucking trouble, flush the toilet. No, well, it's not my fucking toilet. Why should I flush it? It's not fucking my toilet. Why should I flush it? It's not mine. I've used it. Why should I flush it for some other fucker? It's not my toilet. And often, always, when it hasn't been flushed, it is fucking enormous. And perfectly formed. Like a chocolate Swiss roll. The bloke's obviously thought, now that is too beautiful to kill. Somebody else will enjoy looking at that as much as I have. And another thing, quite often, when a bastard hasn't flushed it, you look inside, and there's no paper. No fucking paper in the toilet. What's he done? I mean, what's he done? Just walked in? Right, that's it. I'm off. Fair enough. I suppose we should be grateful he bothered to pull his trousers down. Saying I thought it was quite a sophisticated shit. At least I did it in the toilet. We are animals. I've never seen a pig drawing a picture of its genitalia while it was having a shit. Human beings, I'm a bit bored now. Think I'll draw my bollocks. So I'm not going in there. The next toilet, not too bad. Not too fucking bad. So I get in there and I spend half an hour trying to balance sheets of paper around the seat, you know. Even though I know it's a myth, it might not be a myth. Yeah, all right, Captain, I'm fucking doing it. Leave me alone. I put all the bits of paper around, I get them balanced, I sit down and the air movement caused by the movement wafts them up onto the floor. They should put a bit of blue tack in there to stick the fucking paper down. Well, obviously that's what a paper's for. It's obviously for putting on the seat. It can't serve any other purpose. It's like a sheet of fucking hardboard. I mean, it doesn't exactly soak it up, it sort of smears it around, doesn't it, eh? You start off with a little dab of shit at the mouth of your anus, and by the time you finish smearing, it's all over your fucking hips. You have a really good wipe on it, you know, it's spreading up over your head and down along you. One wipe, you walk out completely covered in shit. You have to stand under the blow hand dryer till it hardens up, then chip it off with a mallet. So I get it all sat down, I'm sitting down, and there's no lock. Of course there's no fucking lock. Why should there be a lock? Why should there be a lock? Someone else has kicked the lock off. Well, it's not my fucking toilet. Why shouldn't I? Why fucking shouldn't I kick the lock off? Fuck it. Why shouldn't I kick the lock? I don't fucking care. Fuck them. It's not my fucking toilet. So, I know I'm going to have to sit there with my leg jammed against the door, trying to keep the bugger closed, jamming my leg against the door. So I sit there and I'm trying to read my paper and I kick my leg against the door and the bastard opens outwards. So I'm sitting there, I'm having to stretch out, desperately hanging on to the last bits of splintered wood and screw, because I'd rather have my fingernails torn out than have anyone see me having a shit. I'm finally ready to dump, to drop, to unload. But no! There is another bloke getting out of the ferry. I think, oh my God, no, I'll have to clench up. He's paying the man, wading ashore through the piss ripples of the piss lake. I'm praying he only wants to have a piss himself, but no, he is choosing a cubicle. Not the broken one. Obviously not whirly splat. You'd be insane. He'll have to go in the one the previous bloke never flushed. You can hear him trying to sort of flush it without looking at it. Because people here feel a sort of distaste, don't they? Feel a sort of distaste flushing other people's shit. So he's sat there, and I'm sat here. Two human beings locked in desperate mortal conflict, not knowing each other, but desperate that the other one should never, ever hear a noise they make. Waiting, clenched up for the other to crack first and fuck off. There is only a sheet of formica dividing us. It doesn't even touch the ground. Another 6 inches. Please, oh Lord, for a bit of human dignity. What's it there for? Ankle fetishist? Whoa, sexy pair of socks you got there. After 2 hours, I crack. After 2 hours, I think, no, I will have a shit. I will let him hear my plop. I can wait no longer. So, I balance a piece of paper on the surface of the water to sort of deaden the fall of the plop as it descends. No good! It's like banging a dead fish on the surface of a stagnant pond. Wallop, half a gallon of water straight up my arsehole. It's a kind of B-day effect. That's probably why the bloke who never flushed it didn't use any paper. He thought, well, let's sluice me out, no need for paper. That'll dry in the sun, that will. The noise is horrendous. The bloke in the next cubicle to me's head is banging against the cubicles with the pressure. In the tension of the moment, the poor bloke, what happens? Ultimate disaster. The fart he never knew was coming popped out. That's the worst fart of all, the one of which you get no warning, no time to clench up, the one that happens in a lift. So, he's whipped my whip, I've whipped him, he's heard me, we both fuck, we can't get out, we're going to have to stay forever. There's another bloke getting out of the ferry. He pays the ferryman, wades ashore through the piss ripples. He can't, he's choosing his cubicle, can't go in the broken one. He'll have to go in whirly splat. You can hear the lengthy papering process. He's got a step ladder and some paste, he's doing it properly. He gets sat down. Before we know it, the terror has quickened. There is a fourth bloke getting out of the ferry. He pays the ferryman, wades ashore through the piss ripples. There are no cubicles left. He can't go in a broken one. He'll have to wait us out. He'll have to wait till someone vacates. But I can't move because everyone's heard my splash. And he can't move because everyone's whiffed his whiff. And the bloke in the end one can't move because he's in an horrible streaky splatty one. And if he goes out and the next bloke goes in, that bloke will think he did it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that we are closing our time together, I must, for 1 second only, just briefly touch on the sort of postscript subject for the evening. That is the subject of opinion. Opinion in comedy. I am often told you have an opinion, Ben. You have so many opinions. Why are you so opinionated? Well, I think comedy should be about opinions. I think it should be about ideas and subjects and something bristling. I don't say that the audience should share the opinion. That's fucking up to them, no problem at all. So, for what it is worth, I will share with you, whether you agree or not, my opinion on Mrs. Thatch. Mrs. Thatch is a strong woman, and she keeps her word. Every general election, she swears she will not touch the National Health Service, and she keeps her word. When she has an operation, she does it in a private hospital. Now, I respect that. The single most glorious institution this country will ever produce, and the Prime Minister won't touch it. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you remember Mrs. Thatcher's hand? Oh, she had a sore hand. Oh. The tendons in her hand were constricting and drawing in the fingers to form a claw. And the doctors tried to reverse this. You cannot undo what God is doing. First the claw, then the horns, then the forked tail. Ladies and gentlemen, I've enjoyed this one. My name's Ben Elton. Good night.